How you doing? All right, nice, nice. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the writing. I think this is really good. You've really done a great job describing your experience here. And I think that you're showing the propensity to understand, to look at your own composition and to be able to decipher what's working and what's not working. And that is a nice progression as a student designer because you're at the point now where you're starting to become more critical of your work, and that's fantastic. That's where it all begins, right? So this is a big step in your student design career and your subsequent upcoming career in design, being able to be super critical of your own work. And one of the things I think that you said that's most interesting is the fact that the bucket's just not working out for you. And I think that that's a good comment because it is a little bit peculiar, and I'm going to talk about that. Let me go ahead and open the. Other than that, I just have one other comment, but this is a beautiful ad. Really nice work here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the ad itself. And let me just bring this window down a little bit so it fits in there. And as we can see, and from the magazine ad, now I didn't see your magazine ad posted. So if you take a look at the Welcome to Week 6 announcement, you'll see that I had recommended that students post their magazine ad so that we can check for consistency. Now, I remember your magazine ad, and I think that that's your ad. I think this is really consistent. Nice work, a great harmonious campaign, good work. Now, a couple of things we can do here is I agree. I think this just seems like it's kind of floating. It doesn't look like it's part of the scene, and that's okay. That's okay as long as it's directly correlated with the call to action. I think you're just fine there. Now, you could do a couple of things here with the masked image when you start working on this piece, if and when you decide to use it in your student portfolio. Now, of course, I think when I approach all classes, I approach them as the student. One of the most important things is for the student to leave the class with a tangible piece for which they can include in their student portfolio if they elect to do so when that time comes. And this is certainly no exception. But now, one thing I want to mention is that you don't have to include this in your student portfolio piece when that time comes. You can remove it if you want. This is a requirement of the class showing that you have the ability and can show the propensity for aptitude in masking and placing images, right? So you have definitely covered that. So if you want to remove this once the class is done, then you do what you want to make this piece the way that you want it to be in your student portfolio, right? So if you feel this isn't working, by all means, consider removing it or replacing it with another masked image. Your call, right? So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I think your hierarchy is a little bit compromised in a couple of areas. And I think right now, the size of the logo, it's pretty large. And I think that your focal point is right here, is the headline, Romantic Paradise, a Perfect Couples Retreat. I would recommend left aligning that. It's a little bit odd there centered, specifically since this is nice and left aligned here. So I would left align that. Now, the call to action is animated beautifully, but one thing that, speaking of hierarchy, is the call to action is a little bit large, and the type size is almost as big as the subhead. And that, think of a newspaper, the largest is the headline, then the subhead, then whatever body copy comes. So this theoretically should be considerably smaller than this. So I would reduce the size of 50% off all couples. When I just realized that I said reduced significantly, it doesn't have to be reduced significantly. Just reduce it by a couple of point sizes and it'll be beautiful in there. And the hierarchy will definitely be enhanced, I promise you. Another thing that you might consider doing is just reducing the size of this logo a little bit. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's okay. This is an entry point. The viewer is going to see that logo. So I would reduce this a little bit and reduce this a little bit, left align this, and that's really going to clean up the hierarchy of the page. Now, one thing you could consider doing is removing this from the tree, as it basically kind of looks like it's floating. Place it on this side and angle it this way. Note, I didn't say reflect it because I made that mistake in the magazine and not thinking that reflecting it is going to turn the type around backwards and the type's going to be backwards. So you can just put it over here and tilt it this way and see how that works out. That could possibly entail moving the contact information over here. And if you do that, again, I would recommend that you align it right there with the headline subhead. Okay, so those are my recommendations. Other than that, I think you're doing really, really nice work. So good job. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you very much.